Feel incredible!
It's not a cartoon, it's anime!
Welcome to another episode of Animeshun.
I really enjoyed your laugh there, Keenan. That was good.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm in a pretty good mood today. Some positive things that have been happening in the past day or two.
That's what's up.
That's great.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
The squad is back. Myself, Brennan, Ice, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
We are here, y'all. You know what we do. We review anime, talk shit about anime. We discuss different type of anime. We do movie reviews. We just have one-offs. So this is the squad is back. We're reviewing the last bit of Blades of the Immortal.
AKA Brendan's favorite show.
Really stretching it out.
I had to because Brennan has already sold his opinion.
Sold?
I mean, yeah, you sold your opinion. You can't even be moved.
Oh, you mean sewed? I thought you meant sold. Like it's like somebody paid me for my opinion.
That's what I feel like you try to sell your opinion in general. That's what I mean.
Oh, that's a really weird way of putting that, but okay.
Yeah, I'm a really weird person from time to time.
Says the man who picked this show. I agree.
Hey, you already let me off the hook. So what the fuck are you talking about? You let me off the hook already from what Chaz said. So you can't say nothing. Now I still let me off the hook. I'll take that.
I'm mad at Chaz.
But you let me off the hook.
No,
so what are you talking about?
I'm mad at Chaz right now. Chaz should have been on this episode, everybody. Just so you know, Chaz is a friend of an acquaintance of mine. I would normally and a friend of Keenan's. I think Ice as well. Actually, all of us. We all know Chaz. He's a comedian. He's a writer more so. And he's the one who helped propel Keenan along this treacherous course of picking Blades of the Immortal. And he originally had agreed to be here today to be a part of this final show so he could defend his choice and what it is that he felt the reasons why we should be watching the show. And for some reason out of nowhere, he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to go drive to Oklahoma to pick up my family member out of nowhere, which he knew about this. He knew. But
I mean, we're on Zoom, you know? Ice is in Arizona.
I told him to literally pull over. Yeah. I was like, just pull over and jump in for 10 minutes.
Or just take the via video. You know what I mean? No video, just do audio and just drive.
Just call in. You could just literally just call into the Zoom. But you know what? Chaz ain't shit. I'm going to say it.
I mean, just destroy him if you want. I don't care.
I was really looking forward to Chaz being here to find out, to get to the bottom of this. So, I was really looking forward to it.
What were the points that you said that he made for this?
You want me to state them now, or you?
I think. Hold on. Let's wait. Let's
put it at the end.
Let's wait. I think we should wait.
And I'm also gonna.
Right.
I want to give all of Chaz's his ways that you can follow him, so that you guys can take the conversation to his whole ass. So we're gonna get that at the end of the episode. Stay tuned. I promise you, I will give you his Instagram that he is very active on. You will be there. You will see it. So pull up on him. He's not
active on Instagram.
No, I'm saying.
He's more active on Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. I'll give all of it. I don't give a shit. Pull up on his hoe because I just want to see the conversation. I will personally be involved with these conversations. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm ready.
First of all,
I'm ready.
I want to. When this is said and done too, I want to know who actually hated this besides us talking about it, because I haven't heard anybody else say it's horrible, to be honest. Like whether it's the group chat, whether it's outside people outside in the world,
chat, they hate that shit too.
I mean maybe they message you personally, but I haven't heard any. I haven't seen the hate in the group chat.
I think there's a couple of.
Hey man, when you pull this show up on Amazon, it's got like 4.5 stars out of 5. Like, so people are giving this high, and it's out of hundreds of ratings. So some people are enjoying this somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was just talking about that to Keenan right now. It's like, I don't think Cowboy Bebop is that great. But it's so many people that's like, it's so many different animes. That's just an example. But there's so many different animes and just things in the world that people love. And you just be like, how? What?
But you can't even compare, like, and we're going to get to Rob right now in a second, but you can't even compare these two. This is very recent. Cowboy Bebop came out at a time where I'm pretty sure it was probably ahead of the game somewhat.
But even
so, it's like, yeah, and Ice, go ahead. Just go ahead, man. Get it out the way.
No, I didn't say nothing. That's it. That's all.
No, go ahead and do what you do, man.
This shit. Oh.
Wow!
We almost didn't happen.
You know what? You're welcome, Ice.
It almost didn't happen.
Wow!
You are welcome, bro.
Wow.
You literally was like, "What are you talking about?" That was your expression.
Because I said, because I was about to make a point, and then you said, but that wasn't that. I was gonna get to it, but I didn't.
Damn,
I thought
Ice.
you was like, go ahead with my point, not go ahead with the fact that
Damn,
this
Ice.
is the
Funny,
greatest.
There we go. Yep.
That
Funny,
this is
man.
the greatest fucking anime podcast in the entire world. I was gonna say it.
The lunch over was trash, man. I'm sorry, bro. Because since you was just like, huh? Well, what are you talking about? So next week, you gotta rev it back up, bro. You gotta just come in there. If I throw you an alley-oop, just land that shit.
I thought you was talking about the point that I made, but
I got you.
All right, Rob, set us off, man. 21 episodes, 21 to 24.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the home stretch now. Things are all coming to a head. We're starting off. The Rokidan are in their cave chasing after the Edo Ryu, and they're getting the news. Kagehisa is getting told by his people, like, they just fucked up Edo Castle. Like, they just killed everybody there. So, like, they know that, you know, they don't know where everybody is. They do know that, like, the Edo Ryu, like, leaders are not with the main group that they're chasing. And they're following, like, they're finding out, that's where they were. They went to Edo Castle and messed up everybody. Elsewhere, everybody that was in the fight with Shira is recovering from that. Everybody was having a lot of frostbite. Very unceremoniously, it's revealed that Rin is not dead, which we kind of all assumed based on what Manji said. He said he didn't save her, which he didn't. Tenpopo was the one that jumped in the water, cut her free. And they're all just recovering from that. Taito's there while Meguro and Tenpopo are sort of like filling them in on what happened. Apparently, it's not the people they came across on the road that convinced them to come back. It was the fact that they passed Taito and Kagehisa going that way, and they were like, oh shit, like that's who we're supposed to be finding. So they went and circled back, and that's why they came around. But Renzo is also there. He's not hanging out with them. He's outside, I guess, contemplating life.
Having
a cigarette out in the cold, really thinking about it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Meguro at this point goes out of her way to be like, you know, we didn't come back to save you, which, you know, maybe, I don't know. But Taito is kind of just like, it's kind of weird that you guys are like talking about all this in front of me. Like, I'm right here. And she's like, fucking do something about it then. Like you're still too fucked up to move.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. But as they're kind of like, you know, talking and catching up, Renzo does re-enter armed with a sword and is just like, all right, get out of the way, everybody. I'm taking both of this dude's arms. That's the least that he deserves. He's exactly like Shira, who I didn't even like. I didn't like that dude. I wanted to kill him. I thought he's a monster.
Right there. What are you talking about,
Get your
bro?
ass out of here. He got no respect for me in this scene at all. I just read it.
None.
First of all, your comparison.
Like,
This dude was out here raping motherfuckers and torturing.
It's not
This is
even
not
close.
the same.
It was not even close. I had zero empathy for him in this scene. And the thing is,
None.
you could tell what the writers were going for here. You could tell what they were trying to get you to feel. And I'm just sitting there just like, I see what you want me to feel, but I don't.
Because you didn't earn it.
Yeah.
You didn't earn it. I feel Thanos and Killmonger and them, like what they trying to do. I don't feel No, because you didn't build that. You built him as a dog knife. Killmonger was out here raping people.
I'll take it back. There is one part of the scene that I did feel him on, though. When he was like, why won't anybody tell me who the hell my dad was and why why there's so much fallout to who this man was, who apparently I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, like everybody, nobody will tell me, somebody tell me. And he's like yelling that at Rin and she just sits there.
Because she's like, she pretty much says like, you can. I actually killed your father because I hired him.
Yeah.
To pretty much do this work.
Yeah.
And what's his name again? Taito.
Yeah.
Taito. I like what he kind of says. I like that he doesn't give up much. He pretty much goes, look, man, you know what the Edo Ryu is?
You got Google?
Pretty much.
that was good, Ice. That was good.
But the messed up part about it is back then, since there is no Google, it's going to take him years to probably figure out all this stuff. But I actually appreciated that because it's like, do your research about this and you'll find out who your father is. And then if you still want to come back and do work, hey, by any means, bro.
Yeah.
But do your research so you can find out what this really means and if you really want to do what you say you want to do.
Yeah, because I mean, for Renzo, the only reason he thinks that Manji is as bad as this other dude is because he's like, oh, he killed my dad. He's out here just like killing people's dads, but he doesn't realize what a fucking
killing people's dads.
Like, but he doesn't realize what a fucking monster his dad was. Like, you know,
did his dad probably rape somebody too? I think
he raped Rin's mom.
Yeah.
Your dad's like shit, whatever his name is, Shearer, nigga. What are you talking about?
Wasn't it Taito that was like, nah, fam? Or was it Taito or Kaguhisa that was like, nah, dog, like you gotta chill, or I'm gonna leave if this is what you want. One of them.
It was both of them were just like, I forget which one it was, but they are just like, this isn't what we should be doing. Like, that's not cool. And then his dad's like, no, this is happening right now. Yeah. And like, so no, his dad was a piece of shit and definitely deserved to die.
Your dad deserved to die, and I hope he burns in hell.
But yeah, Taito does tell him like, listen, here, your dad was part of the Ido-Ryu, you know, take that name, go back into Edo, start asking around, do your Google search, and then figure out whether or not you want to take the path of vengeance or forgiveness from there, based on what you find out.
To this day.
To this day. You gotta Google it.
On the road, we're back with the Ido-Ryu. The old man with the glasses that we've seen a few times, I'm not sure his name, he kind of goes up to Abayama, the second in command, and it's just like, I think it's about time I had it back.
I'm sorry, I had one more point. I apologize. So after that scene when, because you're moving on from that scene, right, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, so there was a line actually that was really powerful to me, is that after Rin didn't say anything to the little boy.
Oh, yeah.
So after that, after she just didn't say anything, he was like, yo, go back and like see what your dad, Google that shit. Rin was like just sitting somewhere afterwards, and he goes up to her and says, I hope you don't think your silence passes as compassion.
Yeah.
For me, that is the most relevant statement out of this entire piece of art. And I think it really, but there's a lot of relevance to it. I mean, even to today, like looking at like the Black Lives Matter movement, and like that's something that you could be saying to white people right now. It's just like, I hope you don't think your silence passes as compassion. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's a really powerful statement, almost like the entire movie of what's it called, Boondock Saints. Yeah. Boondock Saints. You've seen that movie. The whole entire premise of the movie is the indifference of good men is the greatest evil in the world. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And so for me, it's like this kind of just falls in line with all that. And I found a lot of power in that statement. I hope you don't think your silence passes as compassion. Like, I had to write it down. I was like, wow, like I've never heard it put like that. I like that.
And speaking of people being silent, my man Rob has been going hard in the Black Lives Matter.
Rob has been going hard. Rob is not here for this silence. Rob is like, y'all gonna hear about these Black lives that matter to me. Matter of fact, listen to my podcast. I'm on there with 3 black men. What up? He didn't say that. He don't say it, but it's like in the subtext.
Yeah, he's been going hard.
So
I'm not gonna put words in Rob's mouth and say he said.
I work for a black-owned company. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. I'm sorry, Rob.
I'm super appreciative.
This is for you, Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
This is for you, Rob.
Rob
I appreciate it, guys.
You have, and I appreciate it, Rob.
Yeah, Rob. We see you out here, and we also see all the other white motherfuckers in our timelines that ain't saying shit. I like to point that out as well. But please, I'm sorry.
Shout out to, since we're talking about anime, shout out to Crunchyroll. You know, they made
the big money.
Yeah, they showed their solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement as well, and it's super dope for with us in anime and in consuming anime, for one of the biggest anime outlets there is to show support to black people. I think that's super dope.
Yeah, man, appreciate it, guys. I love you guys. Want to fight with you guys, so definitely. But
what do you mean, guys?
You people.
Oh, you just lost it all.
Just like that. Rob is fucking canceled. It's off the show. That's it.
On the eve of Juneteenth?
Oh, my God, Rob. You just got back. You just recovered from eating a kid. Now this. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh man, it's just like Keenan's ratings on this. It's up and down. It's up and down. So on the road, back with the interview, the old man does tell Abayama, like, I think it's time for me to go back thin some of these dudes out that are chasing us. And one of the other guys is like, hey, where's he going? He's like, well, he just passed by his old childhood home, and he's about to turn those woods basically into a hellhole. Anybody that's in those woods is his prey, including us. And we're about to find out what that means pretty soon. Because in the town, the old man meets with a connection and is just like, hey, like, we're here to prepare. Like, get those jars ready, open them up. And the Rokidan arrives soon after, and they seem to know they're walking into a trap. They're just like, all right, they know we're after them. They know what's up. But the only thing they can think to do is to spring the trap. So he asked for some volunteers, and there's this dude that's a gun wielder named Mr. Bond that volunteers to go to, smoke out the trap and whoever set it. And also Kagimura's daughter, Rio, volunteers to go.
You earned my respect. She earned my respect through this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on the road, and Bon is kind of talking with her, just like, it's kind of weird to him that she would volunteer for this, or that even Kagimura would allow it. He's just kind of like, it's weird that, a father would put his daughter in basically a suicide mission, and she's like, well, I'm here to...
out of him too.
Yeah, like, I'm here to do a job. Like, I'm here to get my dad's respect and, show him that I can do this. And so that means taking on the tough shit. And
am I tripping, or are you talking about my daddy right now? Like, let me just...
Yeah.
Yo, those eyes.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
He even said
daddy?
it. He was like, I don't like the way her eyes looking at me like that, bro. I don't like that.
I don't want them hands.
Then what, Brennan? What?
But as they're walking, they do spot the old man and his people, like, making their way out of the village into the woods. But as soon as they get in the woods, like, they're gone. Like, they lose them. They fucking disappeared. So they send their men to split up. Mr. Bond's just like, all right, they take the rank and file, send them forward. He tells Rio, like, why don't you head this other way? And she's just like, no, like, I'm good. Like, basically the most dangerous parts are, like, the front guard and the rear guard. And I'm here to do the dangerous work. And he's... kind of just like, no, like, you can really get out of here. And she's like, are you trying to get me out of here so you can fucking bail? Like, are you trying to, like, leave? Yeah, she calls him out, and she's just like, I mean, that's why I'm here. My dad put me on this team to sniff out the defectors, the people that aren't strong enough to cut it, and she spotted this dude a fucking mile away.
It's like it's you, bitch.
I knew it was you, Fredo. Like, she hits him with that. And he pulls out a gun and is just about to, like, it's about to go down between these two. Like, they're about to fight it out when all of a sudden, like, arrows start coming down on them from the fucking trees. And they just got to, like, run for cover. And he's just like, all right, cool. We're going to sideline this fight for now because I need another target out there for them to hit. So he actually saves her from one of the archers that pops up behind her.
That was dope how he saved her, though.
Yeah.
Like, shooting arrows out of the sky with his fucking gun, like... in flight, that's crazy.
Dude's accurate. And he gets some more of that too, because Rio does like a mad charge into these traps, and other archers, like, they've got these little, like, wire traps where if you, like, step across them, like, they fire out all these arrows. And this dude's got, like, a whole fucking jacket full of these pistols, just like, whipping them out and just, like, shooting all those arrows as they're coming in.
Wolfwood.
Yeah, for sure.
That's from Trigun, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But she manages to get close enough that she can kill all the archers, and they're kind of like, all right, well, let's find out what happened to our other guys. Maybe they're still out there. And sure enough, Mr. Bond does find them on his own, tied up to a tree and dead, with, like, this open jar of something sitting next to him. And he gets in close and gets a big whiff of that, and it just, like, instantly paralyzes him, and he starts tripping out.
Yeah. Which was a cool sequence.
I thought this scene was cool, how it started to slowly trip him and warp like that.
I love that scene. I loved how the effect that they showed us from his point of view. It was super dope.
Yeah, because the old man comes out of the woods and explains to him, like, this is carbonic acid. The mountain's been filled with jars of it. It's basically slowly breaking down your respiratory and your mental faculties. And, like, eventually you'll just kind of fall asleep and suffocate and die. But it doesn't affect him because he grew up in these mountains. And, kind of just... in general, when you grow up in those sort of environments, like, you don't need as much air. It's why they have, like,
That's
Sherpas
like
that lead people
in Colorado.
up the Himalayas. Exactly. Yeah, they just don't need as much air. So he's just like, I'm only like functioning on a third of the amount of air you guys are. You guys are sucking wind right now and taking in all of that to the head. Like
he banged the fuck out of him. I was born in it, molded by
Yeah, and it was a trap from the beginning in the sense of like too with the arrows just making him shoot and run around and have to like be that exhausted, which was kind of dope too. So they have to suck all that
because he didn't move that much.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the guy, he's trying to fight the effects. He's reaching for his gun. The old man's just like, hey, if he pulls out the acupuncture needles, he's like, I'm gonna show you a few pressure points that are gonna kill you like instantly. The guy is just tripping balls at this point, like pulls out the gun, shoots himself in the leg. Like he's having a bad time. But he manages to squeeze it off.
No, hold on
What's
a second. He shot himself in the leg so that he could actually focus for a second.
Oh, to like get through it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just trying to break through the pain.
I thought that was brilliant, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No. That considering that is pretty smart. But he tries to pop off another shot at the old man just as he throws his needles, but the guy, I mean, somehow has like a crisscross of like mesh wires on his chest that's just enough to stop this bullet, apparently. Conveniently enough. But the other guy is not so lucky. The needles penetrate his skin and he's done. The old man knows there's just one more person out there and goes to look for Rio. Rio is also freaking out. Knows she's alone. She's starting to trip. Like her eyes are all like dark and stuff. And she's like, I gotta get out of here. Like I want to get back to my dad. Like get back to the main group. Cause now she's alone. And unfortunately for her, it's the old man that finds her first. And, but she was smart here. She uses the guy's traps against him, and as he's coming in for the killing blow, he's kind of just like, it's a shame I got to kill someone so young, but it's kind of your dad's fault for getting you involved in this in the first place. And as he goes in for the killing blow, she pulls on one of the traps that he had set and fires 3 arrows into his back, and then takes her knife and like shoves it, underneath his chin.
Ooh, I think it was dope too. Yeah. I thought it was pretty dope. She played possum, got him.
She even said some slick shit like, what makes you think I'm gonna die here? Like, the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. He did manage to like stab her with one of the needles, and I don't know if it was poison or something, but she's like, trying to like lick the wound or something.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was a little.
I felt like what she did. I think she did the same thing that he did. So like he shot himself, and so she stabbed herself with her own thing. And then I don't know about the licking thing. I don't know what that was.
Nah, I think she got hit. She got hit, and she was trying to suck the poison out. Like you get bit by like a snake or something. You try to suck the venom out.
That's what I assumed was happening.
She didn't stab herself.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Because he was the guy that had those needles.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a fuck.
He's Lucy Watson.
He was definitely doing something else again.
No, I gave it my full. I took notes. I gave it my full attention.
You took notes.
I did.
Damn, nice.
I just read y'all a quote. What do you think?
He had that memorized.
He Googled it.
He Googled it. Kageisa, meanwhile, arrives at that same village and trying to get a horse so he can catch up with Abiyama and the rest of those guys. But I guess when Kagemura and his guys got there, they took the last horses out of town and just killed the rest of them. It was like, when we get back from our mission, we'll come back and repay you for all this. So Kageisa knows his guys are in trouble. Like the Rokidan are now on their tail. Rio does come to. Somehow she got out of the woods. This guy, Mitaki, who is part of her dad's team, has got her on the back of his horse. She's tied up because he's like, your dad gave me orders to get you the fuck out of here. You're the last of his line. Like it's up to you to pass on the bloodline to make sure that his family continues. But she doesn't care about that. She wants to be there for her dad in the moment. So she cuts herself free, like on his sword, and just jumps off the horse and is immediately knocked unconscious. So she's not going anywhere. But lucky for her, the people that are standing there on the road as she falls are Gichi and Hirakuren. 2 people that have worked with her dad in the past with the Mugai Ryu. And I guess they decide that they're going to continue to help them out. I'm not exactly sure why, but they do. And they take Rio in, and Mitaki's kind of giving him the situation of just, hey, we're chasing after these guys. We'll come back for her in 3 days. And Gichi is kind of just like, this isn't a fight that's going to be solved in 3 days. Right. This is the big deal. Like, you're going after killers, and Mitaki knows that. He's just like, honestly, I wish you guys could come with us. Like, the only people that can really stand up to them are Kagemura and you. Yeah. Like, if we had you on our side, like, maybe we could do that.
We could do this in 2 days instead of 3 days.
Yeah. And this got a little weird for me because it seemed like they were asking Gitchy to stay and protect Rio, but instead he's just like, don't worry, like, I'll be your shield. And we see that very soon after that he does not stay with Ryu. So
I thought he was saying he's going to go to the fight, and he's going to be his father's shield.
Yeah, his father's shield. That's what he means.
Yeah,
His father's shield. That's what I yeah.
Clearly, that's what ends up happening. So yeah, but they just leave Rio there. But Manji and Rin are going to meet up with the Ryu. The people that were all fighting Shira are now splitting up. They're leaving Renzo with Meguro and Tenpopo. Taito must have already left some time ago. I guess when he gave Renzo the info on his dad is probably when he pieced out. But the two spies are kind of concerned that Rin isn't fully healed. But Manji knows that this is her last chance to get the revenge she wants before Kagehisa's gone for good. This is really her last go of it. And so she comes out, ready to go, even though she's not completely healed from the injuries from their last fight. But elsewhere, the episode ends with Kagemura, looking up at the stars, saying, "There's only 10 of these Ryu left, and we're coming for them." And they sure are, because the next episode starts off hot with the Rokidan catching up to the Ryu. Another situation with a dude taking a piss on the side of the road when the biggest dude I've ever seen riding a horse comes up and just like takes his fucking head off. Bro. Clean.
He said the biggest dude I've ever.
One thing you never do in anime is just take a piss. Like, just don't do it. Don't take a bath. Don't take a piss.
Yo, I have a question. Do you guys think this guy's bigger than Thorkel? What's his name?
Thorkel.
They probably on the
You know
same.
what I'm
They
saying? Right?
probably
I
on the
like how
same
everybody had
level.
to go like, all three of you guys did the exact same thing. You all were like,
I feel like Thorkel.
Thorkel's he's leaner than him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
who do you think would win in a fight?
Thorkel.
Oh, Thorkel.
I think Thorkel would, yeah.
That man is a master of war.
Yeah.
I don't know. This dude was pretty serious.
He was serious, but
He was serious as fuck.
He kind of reminded me of that dude on Lupin the Third. Like a big,
Yeah,
like
I know
a
you're talking
big,
about, yeah,
like
yeah.
if him and Thorkel did the fusion dance, this would be like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's as we're about to see, he's serious business, but I think he gets a lot of the kills and KOs he does because of the armor he's wearing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's what made me.
Thorkel doesn't mess around
yeah.
with that.
I was like, I don't need no fucking
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, because you can be reckless when you know you're protected and they don't know you're protected.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just throw an overhand right, get chopped, and take the overhand right and just power through because they're not hitting shit. It's not gonna hit on
That's
nothing.
mine.
Totally. Yeah. Back with the main group of Ryu, the big guy and the rest of the Rokidan that are with him show up and toss the head of the guy taking the piss in front of him. And they're all just kind of like, oh, like, all right, like this is rubber meets the road type moment. Abiyama's there and it's just like, all you stay back, like just don't get in the way pretty much. Like you guys this is on another level. You guys aren't there yet. But just as they're about to, get to it. Well, there's a few guys that are here, people that we've seen before. There's obviously Big Guy. I'm just going to call him Big Guy. And then there's Rat Face Guy, who we've seen a couple times. There's a Lance Guy, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
But just as they're about to get into the fight, Abiyama's about to take on all of them. That's when Gitchy and Hyakuren show up, riding past them on a horse, and Gitchy just kind of makes eye contact with Abiyama and like points off in a direction.
You know what to do, fam. Meet me behind McDonald's. And when we were at high school, you want to fight me behind McDonald's. Then that was what that was.
Yeah, and Abiyama, he recognized that right away. He's just like, shit. Like I thought this was just going to be like a bump in the road, but this is like the real killers just showed up. So I'm going to go take care of those guys. You guys do the best you can here. Don't come after me. I'm going to go handle this. But one of the Ryu, who I'll just call One Punch Man since he kind of looks like One Punch Man, he just looks at the rest of them as just like, he picks out the three best swordsmen and tells them to follow after Abiyama just so he's not on his own. And it's just like, the rest of us will handle these dudes here. Fingers crossed. But Abiyama catches up with his dudes, catch up to Gitchy and Hyakuren. They're waiting for him. And Abiyama's just like, all you stay out of the way. This is between me and him. Like, if you get in there, I will kill you myself. And they clash. We know Gitchy is talented as well, like definitely a skilled fighter. But Abiyama has got a surprise on him. He's got, something we haven't seen before. We thought he was just like a one-armed swordsman, or at least I did. But turns out he's got like this whole chain weapon underneath his cloak that's attached to like the stump of his other arm. And he uses it to like hit at Gitchy and like manages to like slice off basically his entire ear and breaks his Morpheus glasses.
When it landed on old girl's head, bro, that was tight. That was gangster. It was just like,
so nasty.
Just that wet slap, yeah.
But I will say this about this show. These guys take real injuries and just be like, let's go. Yeah, like they lose ears, fingers, eyes, and they're just kind of like, man.
When Tidal was fighting Shira, that's when I realized like they can just take any mortal wounds that they can.
They taking real wounds.
Like he stuck 2 swords in the Tidal, and he was just like, oh, I'm good. I'm straight.
He did that twice.
Exactly.
Because then when they meet up again, he does it to him again.
Yeah. Still alive.
Reopen these wounds on your punk ass.
But Abiyama then, he charges at Gitchy and he's just overwhelming him. And it's just kind of like, man, I thought you were skilled. Like, you killed how many guys of our Itoryu? Like, I thought you had heart, but like clearly, you're not fighting hard, and just kind of points out like Kieran just like, yeah, is she pregnant? You fighting for her?
Damn.
And Gitchy gets mad at that. But he still can't do shit about it. Abiyama's just slicing him up, like giving him cuts here and there. Like it's not looking good for Gitchy. But that's when Hayakirin decides to get involved, and draws her bow. But before she can, do anything and hit Abiyama, the other 3 swordsmen step in. But she holds her own against them. Like she's like, these scrubs are definitely beneath her. Like she lures one of them onto. Yeah, she can still fight. Yeah, in the first trimester, she can still be fighting. She jumps up on the wall and like lures one of them onto the horse, and in a pretty smart move, shoots the horse in the ass and sends him running. And that gives Gitchy the momentum he needs, because when that dude goes by on the horse, he slices that dude's head off, and Abiyama's just like, fuck, like the momentum is turning here. So she runs off into the graveyard and is followed by the other 2 bandits, the other 2 Itoryu. She just headshots one of them just immediately. That guy did no good, did not help at all. The last guy, though, is a little bit more of a problem. He uses his old buddy as a human shield, just sort of like taking in all those arrows, and eventually overpowers and pins Hyakurin to the ground. And I mean, we were subjected to another scene where I'm just kind of going to rush through because it's just ridiculous. We get this guy. This guy basically starts to violate Hyakurin while talking about how he joined the Itoryu to gain power because he's a monster that's basically raped his stepmother because it's a lot. Anyway,
I just need to say this, how sick this is. He said, the reason I'm doing this is because you remind me of my mama. And I raped my mama. All right, that's it. That's all I want to say.
There's only 2 people, not only, but him and Shira are the 2 people I was like, I hope they get murdered bad. Because, bro, what the fuck, man? What are you talking about?
And I think just the mindset of the writers and everybody involved to give him a little bit of screen time. And in that screen time, you made him such a vile piece of shit. It's like,
what do you gain from this? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, if he would have just fought her, like, and that scene didn't have to be like rape/abortion. No. Like, it wouldn't have changed anything.
It wouldn't have done nothing for nothing.
He
Super unnecessary.
He pretty much said, I'm going to pull that child out of you because I'm the child that you have now. The way he worded it was I was just like, what?
It just over the top. But luckily for her and for us, he's not on the show very long because Mitaki shows up and just slices this dude right through his head, and he's done. But at this point, I'm just like, so who's watching Rio? Like, so who's making sure that she doesn't come back? Because obviously she wants to come back.
That dude and left Rio because it's like, my fucking son died on your watch. So fuck you. I'm gonna leave your daughter. That's payback. I ain't even mad at him.
Yeah. But back in the other fight, Gitchy is fighting Abiyama, and the momentum really is starting to turn, and Gitchy starts to talk shit to him. It's just like, I mean, I thought you had heart. Clearly, we both have weaknesses here. We both have people we care about, and that's their weakness at this point. Is they're not fighting fearlessly because they have things they care about. You know, whether it's the legacy of the Itoryu or Hyakuren and her baby, and because Abiyama's shaken now, Gichi manages to get a brutal slice in on him, cuts his chest like wide open, just jumps on top of him and just starts going to town on him,
punching his face in.
And Mitaki shows up soon after, hands him a knife, and just to add insult to injury, just plunges a knife in his chest too, and it just leaves him there to die.
These fight scenes start to pick up to like the brutality of them. Like, because to me, I think when they show somebody getting punched in the face, and you just seeing their face get mashed in and start the teeth falling out, to me, that's like worse than just a regular slice. Because we expect that. But the brutality of just punch somebody to death is like,
and I think that's
almost
insane. And that's closer because I feel all of us. Rob, you've been in a fist fight before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I feel like that's the closest thing to brutality that a lot of us been. A lot of us hasn't shot or stabbed anybody, so I think we feel that more because it's like we know what a punch feels like. We punched somebody before and felt the impact of that, or we got punched before, so it's like you just like. Ugh, like that you're right with that, Kenan. That scene was just like you felt those fucking hits.
Yeah, he's trying to beat this old man to death, and he's just like, he talks more about like the weakness that they both had. Is they're caring about others, but really the only thing that ended up making the difference was their age. He's just an old man, tired out. He got gas. Too bad.
Old motherfucker.
Back at the other fight with the other Itoryu, it is not going well. Not at all. One of the swordsmen is fighting Rat-Faced Man, who's using acid to blind him. Big guy is literally chopping people straight up in half, just taking off chunks of their head.
This acid fight.
That acid fight is crazy.
I like
also, what I thought too was funny. The blonde dude ends up fighting, I guess, another guy. I don't know what language they were speaking.
I think it was Dutch. I think because the Dutch were the only people at that point in history that the Japanese were letting into trade and be part of the country.
I also just like that part for how smart they were with the subtitles, that they put the subtitles in Japanese vertically because they know people are watching this with subtitles below, so they put them vertically on the left. I was like, smart.
But I thought that was super dope when he's fighting and they're speaking, in their language, and then he doesn't give a shit. He kills him, and the dude was like, "Well, I'm so and so of the Itoryu," and he gets chopped up. He's like, "I don't even speak your language, fam. I don't even know what the fuck you just said right now." So
he just walks off,
kills him, and then walked off. Like, I don't even know what you even said. I'm out of here.
I mean, it was pretty cool. But like a couple scenes later, somebody else on his team, one of the Rokidan, speaks in Japanese to him, and he definitely understands. But
that's hilarious.
But it was a cold line to drop at the time,
And just to break it 3 minutes later.
One Punch Man is the last guy facing off against Big Guy, and is just like, all right, like he's got a plan. He's like, I'm gonna attack this dude one way. Actually, like comes in, sacrifices his arm, like takes the blow on his arm so that he can get in closer, and tries to cut him like center mass, like cut him in half, gut him, and that's when he discovers that this dude is covered head to fucking toe in armor that he cannot penetrate. And I mean, once you're that close to him, it's a wrap. Big Guy looks down at him and basically just fucking stomps on him. It's over.
Right through his God. Oof. Damn, this shit was brutal, bro.
Yeah. And so the last fight at this point is between Rat Guy and his acid and the last Itoryu swordsman. It's down to these last two, the last Itoryu swordsman, to get something positive out of this. And
Rob, he took acid to the eye earlier, and just like, damn.
He took snow. He took snow to the ground, just like, damn, that sucked. All right, cool. Shall we continue?
Ate some snow, threw it back down. All right.
Let's go.
Acid in your eye, bro.
I'd be like,
It's okay to scream like a bitch.
There's acid in my eye.
Acid.
No, I don't want to fight no more. I got acid in my
I'm good, dude. You win. You win.
Got it. That's it, boss. Why are we here?
Nope, not this dude. He was the boss about it.
He was. He goes in for one last charge, but Rat Guy has a much bigger vat of acid waiting for him when he gets there and shoves it right into his chest, and it's like a gaping hole in this dude's chest cavity. Like, you can see his spine. But that
you saw his guts and stuff like falling in parts.
His
like
esophagus was just out of there. His fucking intestines. His intestines fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he manages to power through that just enough for one last measure to grab that dude's face and shove his face in it.
That shit was hard.
That was amazing.
That was hard.
Bro, I love that part. And just let him sit there in that acid.
He's like, oh, acid, you put it on me. Here, I have a hole in my stomach now. I appreciate you doing this to me because now I can share this joy that I'm experiencing. Here, come here.
I feel like if you gonna be just slinging acid like that, you need to have some immunity to it. Like you can't just be out here throwing acid and it can harm you because it's a liquid. So it's like the wind blow too hard, you gonna have acid coming right back at you, and you don't have nothing to fight it. Like, come on, bro.
Fair point,
bro. He said, you know, it's kind of funny. He said, throwing ass. It's like saying throwing ass, throwing ass. Just throwing ass out here. But at least the interview you got to kill in this bitch because they was getting slaughtered.
It was not good for them.
At least it wasn't a sweep.
No. Yeah. Abiyama, meanwhile, is, he's been left to die and is kind of talking to his old friend, the spirit of his old friend Kagehisa's grandfather, just kind of talking about like, all right, Kagehisa's the last hope we got at this point. Gichi, Hikura, and Mitaki, they meet up with Kagemura on the road, who's kind of just like, why the hell did you join the suicide mission? Doesn't even ask who's watching his daughter. But they do come to the boat village where they're expecting the Itaruya to leave. And I mean, Kagemura shows his ruthlessness at this point. He's just like, we don't know who's helping them. We don't know who's not helping them. So just get down there, just kill everybody. Just fucking kill people and ask questions later. And that's when we meet another one of a guy that we've seen before from the Rokidan. I'm not sure I caught his name. I'm calling him Pigtail Bruce Lee because he's fighting with the Nunchaku.
Yeah. He just busted
and He's fighting what looks like a giant like troll on one of the boats. Just big dude with like a club, and he takes him out. Like he kicks him off the boat, and he's got a couple of the scrubs with him. And he's just like, all right, like check out the rest of the boat, see if anybody else is here. And they don't get far before they run into Maki, who is pissed that they came to come and interfere with their escape, and she cuts up those first two guys no problem. And it kind of tells Pigtail Bruce Lee like, hey, like for you to get this far with just like those wooden things, like you must be pretty skilled, but clearly he's not skilled enough to go against her because she cuts off one of his pigtails, starts like putting him on his back feet. Like this guy all of a sudden knows he's outmatched very quickly. And it's only because the Lance guy, the other Dutch dude from the last fight, he shows up and is just like, helps him to escape. And Pigtail Bruce Lee is like, she's beyond both of us. Like we gotta let Kagehisa we gotta let Kagemura handle her. Which, speaking of him, he's getting basically imprisoned by a bunch of the villagers. They're all like kind of, they got him surrounded with these fences and are just like, what are you doing? Like, you're killing all these people. And he's like, hey, I'm here on official business. Like, pulls out the warrant and is just like, this is the elder's like signature right here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to be here. Like, if anything, you should be like, the only reason I'm here is to find her. And points to Maki, like walking up the beach, and they very quickly switch allegiances and surround her, but she's not there to talk to anybody. She's not there to play games. She just whips that thing around one time and
all them in half, bro.
She is she's the most dangerous person on the show.
Absolutely. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah. Because she gets up there and is about to fight them, and Kagemura is just like we're about to lose 7 people right now. Like, this is about to happen.
Bro, did you see Because she said, because after that they get to her, she jumps back over there, and then a big dude is popping up. It's like, I'll handle this, and she's kind of just like jumps over him like, shut the fuck up, bro. I ain't even here for you, fam. I'll deal with you later. The sweat that went down. What's his name? Kageisa?
Kagemura. Yeah,
Kagemura. I'm sorry, Kagemura. Hit the sweat that dripped down his face. He was just like, oh boy, oh. As hard as he is, he didn't want that work.
Yeah, he's no joke either. And he just says right after that, like 7 of us are about to die right now, like minimum, bare minimum. But lucky for him, she starts coughing up her blood. Like we've been seeing, she hasn't been feeling well. He even says like, this must be divine intervention that we just caught this break right now. And he's about to come down on her with his sword when out of nowhere, Manji arrives. And he's just like, hey.
Tell me this show doesn't have the most convenient plot armor for everybody. Every time somebody's like, I'm about to die on this road, or whatever, like whenever somebody says like, oh, they're about to die, like somebody always shows up.
That's anime.
I was just-
I'm not
yeah,
gonna get away with
yeah,
that.
I'm
not letting you have that. Bro.
I'm with you on
I'm
that.
just saying. I mean, but anime does that, but not as consistently as this show does it.
Nah, it does.
I disagree. I think they really live with that shit.
I'm with you on that one, Keenan. You're right.
They do it on this show, but it's expected.
anime.
I like nothing. I'm not shocked that anybody just popping in because that's how anime just works.
You just hate this
Every
show, Brendan.
time.
That's all.
Every time.
Honestly, I feel
mean-
like it does it about the same, if not less, than other anime. To be honest with you, like I didn't like. I wasn't knocked out of my seat.
It happened a lot in this show.
It happened a lot in this, like, in this particular episode.
Yeah.
Like, this episode had like 2 or 3 moments where shit was about to go down, and then it was just like, shing,
Yeah.
shing, shing, that little like bell sound that they have as somebody's like slowly walking up, like, yeah, that's right, I just got here. That happened like 2 or 3 times, like,
I'll give you that
in short succession. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about this. I didn't necessarily notice it about the show as a whole. But he does show up, and he very conveniently has a cure for whatever disease it is that she has, and apparently has to deliver to it to her mouth to mouth.
He said,
He's
"Tell me
like,
that
oh, if
was
only
water." What the fuck else would it be? Like, it's like, oh, it's medicine. Like,
he says it's like guts or something, and he flashes back to the Yamada guy, the beheader, because he had briefly mentioned that, but. I don't know. This was a sort of weird thing that I was like, oh, was I supposed to remember that? Or
because they just showed a picture of him just smiling in the back, like, yeah, like.
But he gives her that medicine so she heals from this disease that kind of just showed up out of nowhere. So anyway, that problem went away very quickly. But Manji then also points out that, basically up on the hillside, Rin, Gichi, and Hyakuren are all looking down on this. I don't know why exactly Gichi and Hyakuren are cool with watching him save her if they're on the side of Kagimura, but they are. They're kind of just hanging out and watching it all go down. Maybe they're too hurt to say anything about it anyway. But Rin is just like, I'm about to go down there and get involved too. And they try to stop her, but she's like, no, like this is the time.
I've saved his life many times before.
This is the last chance I'll have to save his life.
I mean, at the end of the day, she has plot armor. Technically, she plot armor the fuck out of Manji.
Several times, definitely.
Yeah.
And just as about the two sides are about to clash, like a bunch of ships show up and just like a rain of arrows comes down, and the episode ends just as they're about to hit. But the next episode picks up right there as the arrows are hitting, and I don't think anybody got hit by that. Like pretty much everybody blocks it or
Manji
runs.
got hit. Only Manji got hit. He's
Of course.
shit.
He's
Of
like, why
course.
would I dodge these?
He doesn't
Why
have
would I
to.
dodge these? I'm immortal.
He doesn't have to. But he manages to get out of there. Rin almost gets hit, but it's actually Kagehisa that saves her. He also shows up just in the nick of time, shing, 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 and saves her and is just like, follow me, let's get out of here. They meet up with Maki and Manji, taking some shelter, but they don't have much time for a reunion before Kagimura shows up, and this is time for the final showdown. Like,
It's go time, baby.
yeah, Kagimura just tells Big Guy to take care of Manji and Rin. He tells Mitaki, Lance Guy, and Pigtail Bruce Lee to take on Maki. Good luck with that.
You skipping past. I know you're trying to run through it quick, but you got to realize the subtleties of what happened to me. I thought was funny when he tells the Big Guy to take Rin and Manji. Manji goes, "Ooh, okay." And then they tell the 3 guys to take Maki. They're like the facial expressions. They're like, "Oh, come on, man, we gotta take this." Shit.
Yeah, because those 2 guys already fought her once, and they were just like, "This isn't working."
Bro, we already know. So I love how when they cut to them, their face kind of just like, "Bro, we can't beat her, dog."
Kagimura is a terrible coach. You already
Horrible.
He is a terrible.
Keenan, guard Michael Jordan. You're 5'9".
You already got smoked.
Talking
You
about?
already got smoked by him previously. So we just gonna
He dropped 58 on you.
Go ahead again. Try again, buddy.
No, I'll give you these like rank and file scrub dudes that we got left that she's already killed, no problem. And also my guy Mitaki, who I had on babysitting duty like 2 episodes ago. So that's your backup. Yeah, not looking good for
definitely
them.
switched them. Like, hey, y'all haven't fought them yet, so try those guys. And then my guy that's my ace in the hole. You tried their ace in the holes because we getting slaughtered.
Yeah, you would have thought. But he of course leaves Kagehisa for himself. And Kagehisa tells Manji not to die so that they can settle things after this. And Manji's just like, worry about yourself, man.
I got
Bigger problems.
One question. What happened to Kagehisa's thing? Did he not? Because all of a sudden it just vanished. His big sword.
No, I think he throws it. Remember we'll get to that.
He has it there.
He has
but
it for this fight, but like there was a long stretch of episodes where he
wasn't using it.
He just didn't have it.
Yeah, I think he had it. He probably was one of those things like I don't need it against y'all.
I really want to.
No, it got broken. I thought.
No, I don't think so. He has it because he has it here. Some weird shit goes on with this accent a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
It's kind of popping up in different places all over this fight in a few moments. But elsewhere, Ryu is waking up. I guess she did just kind of wake up alone in the barn and was just like, all right, well, I'm going to crawl my way to this fight, I guess. She's like in just a robe, like bloody and bruised, just trying to get down the road. And lo and behold, it's Taito that finds her. And she tells him not to take any pity on her, but he decides to take her anyway. He picks her up, puts her on the horse, and is like, no, I guess we're bringing everybody to the fight. Like, wouldn't be the final showdown if we didn't have everybody there. And as they're on their way there, she asks him to if we survive this, will you train me? Which is like a total misunderstanding of what this situation is. And Taito's just like,
what are you talking about? Either both or one of us gonna die. You don't understand where we're going right now? What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, weird request. But she's like, maybe if we're reborn then, maybe.
She's just trying to run it down.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, after he socked her in the stomach, I guess she was just like, all right, respect. But back to Kagehisa and Kagemura, they're fighting it out under some wooden gates on a hillside. And Kagehisa is just dodging around him, trying to keep the pillar in between him and Kagemura. But Kagemura is strong. He cuts right through one of them and in doing so takes off the top of Kagehisa's ear. And Kagehisa's just like, all right, cool. Like maybe I gotta switch things up here. Puts the axe down and draws his sword. And Kagemura's just like, oh, I thought that was your whole thing is fighting with that. Right. And he's just like, no. I'm telling our only rule is to win basically by any means necessary. I don't know if that's what he said. I mean,
pretty much, yeah.
It's a good rule. But Manji is squaring up against Big Guy. In usual form, he's getting fucked up. He's already down an arm when we get there. And very soon after, it gets his fucking jaw clean. Oof.
That shit look crazy.
Hit him right here. He's just like resetting that shit. And Rin is looking for a chance just to distract this dude, thinking back on the fight in the dungeon when she lit the other dude on fire, Kagemura, and is just like, if I can get a chance to do that, maybe I can make an opening for Manji. And she spots some gunpowder nearby and runs off to get that. Meanwhile, Maki is shredding her competition as we knew she would, literally just doing her swing thing and just taking people down. The rank and file.
You see these guys like head sliced this way off. It's just like she's brutally murdering these guys. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not just a kill. Like she's just chopping off the top of people's craniums. Mm-hmm. Like just let me be in it. When they bury me, I want to still look normal. Right. All right,
Yo, I have a question. Have you guys ever seen an anime before that has this many like skulls being cut through like this?
I was definitely gonna say that. No,
I don't think so.
I've just never seen that before. I feel like even like when you think about like the Japanese lore with the katana of like how they would measure like a sword, like the 10-body sword, they weren't cutting through people's heads with that. They're cutting through their bodies. And for me, I'm just like, can you really cut through a skull like that? And it's like, even if you could,
I feel like it had to be like clink, 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 and then like
it's a skull. Like this is like one of the thickest bones on our bodies, and it's just like at one point you're having multiple contact. Like when it's in the middle of your head, you know what I'm saying? It's like multiple points of contact with thick bone. It's just like.
I'm guessing like the master swordsman can probably cut through damn near anything.
Yeah, because you see how they just have to lift their sword a little bit and cut through all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
I think that shit's real. I've been listening to this other podcast, Hardcore History. I think I've mentioned it a few times.
I love that podcast.
Yeah, they've been covering Japan during World War II and like kind of as they just like got very quickly modern over a very short amount of time. And they talked about like the Australian soldiers that had to fight them, and they just be like trying to track these Japanese soldiers going through the forest, and they just find other Australian soldiers with just like pieces of their head just like chopped off, just like left, because the Japanese soldiers were being like, this is what's waiting for you. You find us, like, this is what's going to happen. Like they even said at one point they found like a bunch of Australian soldiers like tied up to a tree. And they had one of the Japanese soldiers that knew English like write a sign and hang it over top of them that just said they died slowly. So like They were not fucking around. No, these guys were serious. Yeah. So I think absolutely these things could cut through a skull. I don't think any problem. They weren't fucking around. Definitely check out Hardcore History if you like that kind of shit.
It's been crazy. Yeah,
it's been nuts.
Yeah, the Genghis Khan part was my favorite one. That's what I saw.
That's another good one too.
Wrath of the Khans is crazy.
Yeah. But so Rin is going for the gunpowder and she's nearly killed by a bunch of debris falling off the side of the mountain from the fight with Kagehisa and Kagemura. But what's more important she spots is Kagehisa's axe laying on the ground. And so she kind of clocks that for a second. But back to the fight with Big Guy and Manji. The big guy's just like, man, you lasted longer than anybody else has. But listen, I intend to win this fight. And Manji's just like, I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to win this fight too. Yeah. And the big guy charges in at that. And right there, we cut from that to Maki just cutting off Mitaki's arm. The other two dudes are already dead. Like, we didn't even see what happened to them. And Mitaki just starts begging for death. He's just like, kill me, please. Like, I'm done. And for some reason, this is when Gitchy decides to get involved. He, the shing, shing, walking down the hillside. They've been cutting back and forth between the fights very quickly here. And we go back to the fight with Manji. Rin arrives back on the scene and Manji's in a bad way. Like, he's on the end of this dude's sword, lifted up, like cut to pieces, kind of like the other Immortal dude was when he was dead.
I don't think he has a limb left. I think it's just torso.
Yeah, he's basically just the cutout of the V-neck. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, he's just like that in the spine.
He's a damn mannequin at that point.
Yeah.
Bro.
And Big Guy's about to deal the killing blow right here, just about to end it when Rin like runs over and throws her cloak over him and is just like, please, like, don't kill him. Like, I need him to get to finish my mission, to get my revenge. And the big guy's like, if you don't move, like, you're going to die right here with him as I crush your skull. And she just goes on this long speech about, like, everything that Manji means to her, that he represents like a father figure, a brother figure, he's a protector. He's done a lot. And this guy's like, this seems like a really nice thing, but I honestly think you're just like biding time. Like, you're clearly just, trying to wait for him to heal up. And she's just like, no. Like, for him to heal from this, like, he'd have to be like a starfish or something. Like, he's definitely dead. Don't worry. But back with Maki and Gitchy, they're squaring off, both landing blows on each other, but Gitchy is getting the far worse end of it. The fucking Maki gets into one of her blades into his foot, and he's got to like just wrench his foot off of that blade, like cutting his foot almost clean in half. And then they charge in for another clash, and it cuts to like black and white as like the blood just kind of goes off across the screen, and it reveals that he's now lost one of his arms. So this guy's down an ear, a foot, and an arm at this point. Not good. And it's about to be over for him when Hyakurin decides to get involved. She comes down with her bow and is aiming it at her, and
pretty much throws herself down the mountain pregnant.
Yeah. And Maki's just like, unless you've never missed with that thing, you're not gonna hit me with that. Like, that's going to do nothing. And Gitchy knows that too. He knows that, at this point, this fight is over. And he begs for their life at this point. Just like gets down and is just like, for my life, for her life, he's just like, Hyakurin, don't get involved in this fight. Like, you and I are involved in this, but the child that's in your stomach right now, like, they're not involved. Like, for the kid, like, just let's end this fight and just, beg for life. And, Maki kind of thinks about that and is kind of laughs at him, just like, you killed so many Itoryu, like, how could I give you mercy? But, kind of thinks about it and is just like, all right, you're not a threat. Like, I'm done with you. Like, she walks away and is kind of just like, says she's resolved. She's happy to live now. Finally, she's happy to have this moment. It seems like they're about to win this fight and that she and Kagemura or Kagehisa can go off and, have their happy life together, have their happy ending. But before that can happen, Rin is still covering Manji. Big Guy similarly is deciding to walk away. He's just like, man, this isn't worth it. I'm not going to kill this girl. I'll leave that to Kagemura when he finishes up his shit. I'll just ask him what he wants to do with her. If he wants to kill her, he can do that. But he doesn't get far before the final trap that she'd been working towards this whole time. Turns out she was biding time. She throws like a bunch of this gas.
What happened
Go
was
ahead.
she slit her own wrist to make it like she was dead. That's why he walked away. So he didn't just walk away. She slit her.
Yeah, she slit her wrist so he could see the blood coming out as if he was like.
He's like,
bleeding
oh,
out.
she's dead. She's gonna die. She's dead pretty much.
No. She did that so that it would look like Manji was bleeding out.
Yeah.
From what it sounded like, I remember on the translation. I mean, the subtitles is like saying they were both dead. They're both dead anyways.
Yeah, I thought he meant that was just like, like she can't do anything else here. Like he's dead and she can't do anything because he realizes now, because as he gets like fucking totally lit in flames, he's burning out and Manji reveals that he has been healing up.
Alakazam.
He is there and he gets like, this dude, just chest kicks him into a fucking wall. Well, but before that, before he gets kicked into the wall, Manji does charge in at him and manages to find a hole in the armor where Maki had caused a hole earlier when she jumped over him in the previous episode. Manji hits him right there in that chink in the armor and manages to carve that dude's whole arm off, finally.
Bro, he's on fire. And the whole time, he doesn't say anything, but he gets his arm cut off, he yells. You're on
he's mad about
fire,
that,
bro.
He does not.
I guess flames
roll
must have gotten to the wound. He said, "Fuck salt, we throwing flames in this bitch." Like,
believe.
But yeah, he's just like, that's when he tells him, like Manji's ready for the fight. He's like, I told you I was going to win. And the dude like fucking straight up kicks him through a wall. And that's when he notices that Rin had sliced her wrist open. That's why I thought like that was a cover for Manji, is because he didn't realize until that moment that she had sliced her wrist.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I don't know. That was a little confusing to me as well. I'm not really sure. But Manji comes back out of that rubble. He reemerges, new and improved, now with Big Guy's arm reattached.
So weird, man.
The opposite. He's got like two right hands. He's like this.
They remind me
I
of like
I was laughing legit hard when I saw this part, dog.
it remind me of like
But not-
fucking Ludacris. Which video is that? Get Back, when you had them big ass fucking arms.
Yeah, it reminded me of My Hero Academia when Overhaul, when he was like making his arms and shit extra big and building his shit. That's what it reminded me of, man.
But not only does he have the big guy's arm, the other important thing he has right there is Kagehisa's axe. And he manages to get in close and gets in a bunch of strikes on this dude. Somehow manages to unlatch the guy's armor. It just goes flying off of him, and then just takes his other arm right off right then and there. And as the guy sort of big guy's reeling from that, he's like, "Whoa, where did Manji go?" And looks up just to see Manji in like his death dive, and he just plunges right through this dude with the axe, totally cuts him in half.
Show him just slice him right through the fucking middle, dog.
Oof. Tough way to go. At least it was from the top down, so hopefully he was unconscious and done very quickly into that. Because it could be bad the other way. But with the fight done, Manji bandages Rin up and carries her to the next fight. Meanwhile, we catch up with the last fight that's still kind of going on at this point. Kagehisa and Kagemura are on the hillside. They've let their hair down at this point. They've got it. They're letting it flow, and they're acknowledging each other's skill. Giving each other similar compliments, like nobody's ever lasted this long against my blade.
Well, I think, did we say this beforehand? Because I think right before this, when they were still fighting in the tree area, I think didn't he like blind him again because he almost chopped through his whole eye.
That's about to happen right here because they do. That's literally what happens right here. They charge in for like they've got like they've clashed and they're trying to overpower each other, and Kagehisa just like tilts the blade into this dude's eye and just like takes the other eye out, just like cuts it like right down the middle. But it costs him his pinky to do it. But somehow, even though he's not blind, or even though now he is blind, Kagemura is still just like disarms Kagehisa and like choke slams this dude into one of the pillars and is just like, I can be blind, that's fine. I'm still just going to choke the life out of you. At that point, I mean, this guy knows martial arts. He can get out of a fucking choke slam. He breaks that shit and they both go tumbling down the hill. And we get like a point of view from Kagemura as he's waking up. Not sure where anybody is. The screen is like totally black. He's wondering where Kagehisa's gotten to, and it's actually his daughter's voice, Ryu, that's like, stop, Dad. He's like, he's right in front of you. And we cut back to the scene and she's standing in between him, and she's just like, she's talking shit. She's trying to shame Kagehisa into giving the fight up. Like, he's beat. Like, my dad is blind right now. Like, he can't fight you anymore. Dad, give this fight up. If you kill this blind man, like, basically all your honor is gone. Like, everybody says what an honorable, fair fighter you are.
Not to him.
Yeah, that has not at all been the case. This dude is literally, his only rule is win by any means necessary. So I don't know where honorable comes from, but she does say that, hey, get out of the way. Don't kill my dad. And Kagemura doesn't want to lose his daughter this way. So he tackles her and, dislocates her shoulder, just like, Griffith did to Guts. And it's just like, hey, the fight's between you and me. Kagehisa says, hey, I'll spare them as long as you give yourself up, right here now. And Maki arrives on the scene as well, just as they're about to have this final fight. But before they can have the final showdown, a bunch of guns come over the hillside and just rain bullets down on them. And it's a bad scene. It's
my girl Maki, man.
They got him. Yeah, they went the cheap way. No honor there for them.
Man.
Fuck shit.
Yeah.
Trash.
For her
But
to
she
go
still
out
went
like
out
that.
like a G.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
went
she
out like
did.
a G.
Still.
Yeah, she got lit up, but the next episode starts right there. Yeah, she gets hit by all those bullets. So does Rio, who was protecting her dad. So Kagemura doesn't get hit. And we see that it's Hanabusa, the guy that had just replaced Kagemura and all of his lady assassins. So I guess it's not who Shira killed on the road, or he's got more of them. I'm not really sure. But they were the ones that shot the guns over the hillside. And he's like, reload, shoot again, like take him down. Kagemura is still up. And they're just like, listen, this was supposed to be like one of those accidents that he was just like in the vicinity of the Itoryu when we fired. So oops, we happened to kill this guy. But at this point, we've got no excuse to shoot back at him. Like, he's already on a seppuku order. It would be dishonorable to shoot at him again. Right. But Kagehisa at this point, he flashes back to his moments of childhood with Maki. Obviously, he's feeling really sad that, she's on death's door, but she wants to go out one last time, charge into battle. She jumps up that hillside and cuts down every last one of those assassins. Every last one of them.
She has like 9 bullets in her body and still just like, all of you will die.
50 Cent out here, boys.
Got shot 9 times.
She takes him out, like, it's mutual destruction. And she collapses as she kills the last one. Hanabusa tries to run for it, but runs smack dab into Taito on his way out, who, stops him. Obviously, they know each other from their meetup at Edo Castle. And the remaining Rokidan and Mugai Ryu are kind of kneeling over the bodies of their loved ones. Rio is dead. Kagehisa's sad about that. Maki's dead. It's a bad scene. And here we go into what I thought was a really odd choice. They decided to take what were basically the biggest fights that they've been hyped up this entire show and kind of show them with no dialogue, and kind of fast forward through these fights. They tie Hanabusa up to the tree. Kagehisa just...
Hey, guys, we use all of our budget on the last 2 episodes, so...
We don't have no sound.
Our
sound budget is gone.
Let's take out the sound and then literally put this whole thing in fast forward so we can drop frames. Sound good?
Do exactly that. Yeah. They kill Hanabusa real quick. Kagehisa literally like slices through the whole fucking tree. That dude's done for.
Yeah.
Kagehisa and Kagemura face off one last time. Again, they're talking, but we can't hear any of it. It's literally silent. Kagehisa charges and seems to block the Kagemura's blow with the axe, which I don't know how he does that because literally Manji had it in the other fight against the big dude.
Manji, I rewinded it. Manji threw it.
He threw it? So
Manji threw it into pretty much the field, and what happens is...
Oh, he blocked it.
He didn't even block it. What happened was he threw it, and the blind dude, what's his name again? Kagehisa, right?
Kagemura is the blind one.
Yeah, Kagemura, he pretty much thinks that's Kagehisa, and Slight goes after it, like thinks that's him because he's blind, so he's going off senses. So he goes to try to hit it, and then that's when Kagehisa or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, makes a move, makes a blow. That's what happened. So
Man,
what's the name?
It's kind of shitty of Manji. Like took the honorable win away from him.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, remember that was what they were going for. I think, in my opinion, was that W is not for him to get. At the end of the day, it's like, remember, I got to get you, bro. Like I got to kill you.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. Yeah, that is his job, and like we said, anyway, you know, their whole process is by any means necessary. So you know, if they gotta throw in somebody else into the fight briefly to distract him, they'll do that too. So Kagehisa is now done, stabbed through the chest, blinded. It's a wrap. He's out. Now it's time for Manji to have his final showdown. Rin is sort of in and out of consciousness during this, and it's Hyakurin that's kind of telling her what's going on. Meanwhile, Mitaki is committing seppuku with the help of Taito. And again, there's more dialogue between Kagehisa and Manji, but we can't hear what they're saying. And they go in to fight, and Manji manages to slice off one of Kagehisa's arm, and they decide that's it. That's enough. You know, Manji wins the fight. You know, Kagehisa's done. And that's what Hyakurin tells Rin. And they fast forward a little bit. Manji is wearing Kagemura's clothes. I don't know if that means that gave him the rank to command the rest of the ships to do their bidding or whatever, but he's letting Kagehisa go. He's literally watching him go off, and he's just like, yeah, I'll tell Rin I killed you. Basically, just don't ever show up again. This is the last time you're ever setting foot in Edo. Don't show your face around here, and you know things will be fine. And Kagehisa's just like, that's cool. Like I won't show up, but like I promise you, my descendants are going to be back here, and they're going to have war with him. And he also tells Manji, he's about to leave. He's turning to leave. And that's when Rin charges up as his back is turned. So she too, by any means necessary, so much for wanting to fight him at his best back when he had tetanus or whatever. She decides this is the time to fight him. It's now or never. And so she plunges a dagger into him. And as he's dying, he gives his mission statement saying the Itori were all about freedom, and he hopes that that's understood eventually.
An iota
some dumb
of
day.
this has gotten to someone somewhere.
But he says that's why he wanted Manji there, you know, because he's immortal, because he can.
He was facing forward.
He was facing forward.
Well, he's turned away, walking onto the boat when he hears something, and he turns around, and that's when she does get him in the chest. But he's like mid-turn.
Okay, because I remember him just like in slow motion, like. But he
Robin want to give her the real W. That's what that shit is.
No, I don't. She doesn't deserve it. She said, like, her whole thing was like, I'm not fighting you now when I could kill you because I want to fight you when you're at your best. And
then kills him when he has the arm taken off and he's injured.
After
he's limping onto a boat to try to survive the journey.
At this point is desperation, bro.
Yeah.
Either he's gone or she doesn't get it. What is she supposed to do?
I wasn't mad at her for it.
I mean, it just is what it was. I wasn't necessarily mad at this point. Yeah, I was just like, that follows, that tracks. But he does tell Manji that's why he wanted him there. Basically, somebody, the immortal man, will hopefully remember what the Itori were about and pass that down and tell people about that. Manji says he does remember. He will remember him, which is kind of funny considering what happens in the last scene. But we flash forward several months from there after Kagehisa has died. Life is returning to normal in Edo. Taito has retired from the sword game. He's decided to stay in Edo and work as a farmer so he can be near the grave of his friend that died that Shira killed. He's decided not to continue the way of the sword, it seems like. He says his path just diverged from Kagehisa at some point. He didn't want to join up with the samurai. Renzo is apparently found out about his dad and decided the path of forgiveness. He's now a student with the artist in Edo and is very talented. Tenpopo and Meguro are there looking on, talking about how talented he is. And
jealous, too.
There was jealous.
Yeah. But we also get a quick touch in with Gichi. He is bringing back some food or water when he passes by a young woman with her grandfather, who I believe is supposed to be Abayama. Somehow he survived that brutal beatdown that Gichi gave him. And she's like, oh, do you know my grandfather? He's atoning for a poor life. And he's like, yeah, I do know your grandfather. Take care of him. Take care of that old man. That's all he has to say there. Elsewhere, we see this. Yeah, I remember that time. Like, we're good. We're square. We settled it. Isaku and Doa are far away elsewhere. They finally found their paradise where they can live on their own. And Ozuhan, the dude with the mask that was there for the attack on Edo Castle, washes up in a boat. They're all very happy to see each other. Finally we get finally see where Rin is. You know, she's at the grave of her family where we started. Hyakuren is there now, very pregnant. And just asks her what she's going to do next. And Rin says that, you know, she does want to prevent more violence from happening. And to do that, she wants to travel across the land, and meet with the families of the people that she and Manji were responsible for the deaths of and, apologize to them, asked for forgiveness. Because she just wants to stop the cycle of bloodshed. And that's what she says. That's why she decided to kill Kagehisa, is because if he did live, if his descendants did come back, you know, that would just bring more violence, and that she just couldn't abide that. So
apology tour.
So she wants to go on her apology tour. Hyakuren is just like, we find out that Manji was banished from Edo. We don't get to see their goodbye, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah.
Hyakuren asks her if she's going to hire another bodyguard, but she says, no, this isn't a journey of violence. Nobody's going to die on this journey. But yeah, as they're walking down the road, Hyakuren kind of stops for a moment. I don't know if the baby kicked or something like that, but Rin is just like, oh, like, are you okay? And Hyakuren's just like, don't worry about it. Like, you're a kid. You should just be worrying about kid stuff. Don't worry about that adult stuff. And Rin literally breaks down at this, like starts screaming and sobbing in the road. I can only assume mourning the childhood that she'll never have. She's lost her innocence because of everything that's happened over these last 24 episodes. She'll never be that carefree child she was. And that's the last we'll ever see of her, because from there we flash forward 90 some odd years later. Manji has returned to Edo, which is now Tokyo, been renamed to Tokyo, and he's burying all his old weapons outside the city, which is, got, electricity and trains and steam power and all this. Because, just like for those of you that have seen Rurouni Kenshin, during this time in Japan, when they were modernizing, they were trying to, join the modern world, and they were outlawing samurai and, telling people to bury their weapons. So he's getting rid of his, his old ways, trying to turn over a new leaf. But before he can get too far into that, the old lady shows up, kind of asks him how he's been. The old lady shaman, how you been, man? Where you been? He's like, I've had plenty of other adventures. I got imprisoned. I got picked up by some Americans on a ship, dealt with another group of killers that were very much like the Itoryu. And then he kind of stops and is like, man, the Itoryu, man, I haven't talked about them in like 90 years, which is kind of funny considering he's just like, yeah, man, I'll remember you. And then immediately just doesn't even fucking bring them up ever again.
Near a century.
For damn near a century. But that's when he said, it's been a long time. I don't even remember the names or the faces of the people involved. So, and that's when the old lady brings a child that she has with her named Fuyu, who she says, this is the great-great-granddaughter of a very old friend of yours. And Manji can't even place it a little bit. He doesn't even really remember. Which I'm just like, 90 years is a long time, but like,
If
damn,
you don't
that's
have
pretty cool.
Alzheimer's, you should know who that is. Especially, it ain't nobody that you walked across in the middle of the road and maybe had one altercation with. You was kicking it with her for an extended period of time, and you risked your life and died several times for her.
I'm guessing he went through that multiple times after that.
I'm guessing so. Yeah, he does say he's got lots of adventures. He's like this Dr. Manhattan level. Like you reach like immortality. Like human lives just don't mean as much to you anymore. Like
right.
you blink and then another generation.
I bet you he remembers that. I bet you he remembers that doctor that split him apart.
Right.
I bet you remembers
yeah,
that.
I bet he does.
Imagine
his
you
name
ass
and
whooped
face.
so many times that you don't even remember. Like, because it wasn't wins. He just not like I done killed so many people and won so many fights that it's just I forgot. Like you got your ass whooped so many times. You're just like, damn. Like,
yeah, he even says that to Big Guy because Big Guy is whipping his ass and he's just like, dude, this is just another day for me. Like, no big deal. But she does introduce Fuyu there and is just like, yeah, this is a very old friend, descendant of a very old friend of yours, and says that her uncles are feuding over, who's going to run their dojo. So she needs protection for now. So Manji at first doesn't really want to, but that's when Fuyu hands him something that she was told to give him. And it turns out it's the knife that had all the carvings that Doa had given to Rin. And it has Doa's carving on there, but...
Sorry.
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
What was it? What'd you say?
I said I don't care. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's supposed to be like
yeah,
a big sentimental moment, and I was just like, that sword didn't do anything in the show. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, well, it's been that this carvings have been added on. Manji's symbol is on there, and he does, and she also has the old wanted poster with his face on it. And something seems to click for him. He does seem to remember, and he agrees to protect her. And even in this age without swords, so he's going to have to find a way to do it without violence, or so it seems.
I'm gonna have to get a job.
He's like, I was trying to be a salaried man. I'm trying to go straight. And this old woman shows up, but they're walking down the street, and Manji's offers to hold her hand, and she sees that it's missing a pinky, so it's clearly Kagehisa's arm that he stole. Which is even more funny. He's literally carrying this dude's arm around. He's like, man, what was his name? Oh, yeah, the Itario. I haven't talked about them in a long time. Shit.
I don't know.
Scratching his head.
Who is it?
Who was that guy? Yeah, that's funny.
He's had so many arms, man. It doesn't matter.
But he tells the little girl, like, now I do remember that my old friend's name. Clearly, he does remember Rin in that moment, recognizes her in the eyes of the little girl, and they walk down the streets together onto their next adventure, maybe without violence. Knock on wood, but probably not. There'll probably be violence. But
They said there's I guess another manga that's going to be a manga version that's going to be done, I guess, of this journey. But yeah, all right. So we're done, man. 21 to 24. Whole thing finished up. Go ahead, Ice.
I am so happy that this shit is over. I want to start with that. I don't know how many times I like out loud audibly said, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just was watching this, like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about people dying. I don't care about the sentimental stuff. I wanted this shit to be over. And granted, I will give these 4 episodes enough credit that they didn't make the fall of the show, the finale of the show, brutal enough, like, for me to, like, brutalizing from boredom. It was actually okay. It wasn't like over the top, and it wasn't just like painstakingly boring. But I just, at that point, I was already beaten down by the shitty writing, the shitty fight scenes, the shitty character development, the shitty just characters. Like, I was just so beaten down by all of it. It was like, you could have gave me the 4 best string of episodes in anime history, and it just wouldn't have done anything for me. I feel like Manji will go down as the worst protagonist in anime history, as far as wins, as far as impact on the plot, as far as
wins. Yeah.
Why do I care about this protagonist? I just don't care. I just like a big. If somebody were to say, like, what is your, like, if you had a few words to say about, like, say, explain your feelings about a Blaze of the Immortal in 5 words or less, it would be, I don't care. Like, because I do not care, I guess, because I don't give a fuck about any of it. Yeah, I mean, I can keep going, but I'll just leave it at that. Overall scores, I mean, for the series, are we doing both, right? Are we doing?
Yeah. So for these 4 episodes,
for these 4 episodes, 5,000, and then for the series overall, I don't know what my average is, but just off the top of my head, I feel like I'm sitting somewhere like a 3,500. So for the series overall.
okay.
Rob?
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I did find myself at the end just like, my issue was I just didn't really care or like about any of the characters. I did think there were some good moments, especially in these last 4 episodes. That scene on the mountaintop with the old man, that was cool. I like the way they did that. I think even some of the moments in these last 2 episodes, some of those fights were pretty cool. But yeah, I got to the point where I'm like, it didn't matter to me because I wasn't rooting for any of these people.
Right.
And like Ice even mentioned earlier, with Kagehisa, you really, a good villain really, whether it's like a Thanos or a Killmonger, when you kind of see from their point of view, I can kind of see from his point of view, but he literally allied himself with straight up monsters, which makes him pretty irredeemable in my book. So I couldn't even really find myself like understanding where he came from. He sold his soul to me to get what he wanted. And I just didn't vibe with Rin's character as much. And Manji, I didn't think his journey to get to killing 1,000 people was just not even like A, B, or C plot. It was like a G or an H plot at that point. Like it didn't matter. But honestly, I think this might surprise you. I think one of the things that really helped this show is actually making it more than one season. It felt like they rushed through things that shouldn't have been rushed through and elongated things that shouldn't have been elongated. If this was more like 3 seasons of 12 episodes apiece, where we really got to spend some time getting to know these characters and seeing what happened, so I wasn't so confused about like, wait, who's Kagimura and what happened with this other school over here? It threw a lot at you that it felt like, oh, was I supposed to know that? So yeah, I mean, there were good things from this stretch of episodes and from the series as a whole, but it just felt a little bit too little too late. So anyway, I'll just wrap it up saying I would give this stretch of episodes a 5,200 and the series as a whole a 4,000.
Brandon?
I agree with a lot of what Ice and Rob said. I mean, I feel like there's just a lot of missed opportunity here. I mean, even if you go back to the very first 4 set of episodes and the guy who had the people sewed to his shoulders, imagine if this guy would have been one of the main antagonists all the way through the show. You know, like imagine how much potential is there, how much hatred is there. Because obviously we already had the other guy that was pretty horrible too. But it's just like that, the old lady who only showed up in the first and last episode who apparently has black magic that we never saw any of. We just are told she's the one who has the bloodworms. She shows up at the end and I'm like, well, hopefully she can finally put this guy to rest. Only to give him the same quest again with the great-granddaughter of Ren. And I'm just like, I don't care. Right. I don't care about it. Like the biggest issue I have with the show is that people would come back after already having been introduced and I would not remember them. And you guys are making fun of me. Like, Brendan, you were doing something else while watching it. But the reality was I actually was giving this show most of the time my full attention. But they didn't give enough attention to the characters. You know, where it's just like they have so many characters in this 24 episodes. But, you know, even like, for example, what's the girl, the little girl that was fighting with the tattoo face and the guy that got
Doa.
Yeah. They showed them at the end, like finding the other guy that couldn't speak, right? For what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that even mean to me? Because I'm just like, isn't he immortal now? Shouldn't he run into Manji since he was able to put his body back together? Is he not somebody that could be in that last scene too? You know, it's like those are the 2 characters I care about more than anybody else in the whole show, and they only had a short segment.
You cared about them. You cared about them the most, and you didn't know their names.
Didn't know their names. Yeah, I'm bad with names in general. Just,
I was gonna say that's not out of the ordinary for Brennan.
No, I'm just really bad with names in general. But overall, I mean, I think that this show did some things really well. Like some of the fight scenes I enjoyed. I thought they were really cool. A couple of one-liners, like I said, in this stretch were like super dope, like really deep meaning to it. You know, there's some good things that happened. But overall, I think that it was rushed through. I think it was budget-driven in the sense of like making decisions out of budgetary concerns, not necessarily out of story. And I think that there just was a lot left on the table that could have been done really well. So for these last 4 episodes, I give that a 5,000. For the overall series, I give it a 4,000.
Okay. For me, these 4 I thought were dope. I enjoyed these 4 a lot. They gave us some fights that I liked and that I wanted. I can't agree that I didn't have any strong feelings for any character, but I like Maki a lot. Like if this shit was based around her, cool. But what I will say, I don't know if y'all really said too much about their antagonist. They gave us an antagonist, but I really wanted a clear cut, like dangerous antagonist going toward the protagonist the whole time. So I mean, I felt like in moments in this anime, like you didn't really know who the antagonist really was. There was like mad motherfuckers that were just evil.
Yep.
So that did bother me a lot. I do respect that they honored what they said they were going to do at the beginning, and they gave Ren her W. I gotta respect that, and she got her W.
It's more like a V.
Why you say that?
Yeah, because it's like half a W. Because it's like she had that chance so early on in the show to be able to just kill him for killing's sake, and she's like, no, like we were saying, like she passed it up because she's like, I want to take you out at your best, and she didn't do that.
At this particular point, she had no choice. Yeah. Like this was either let him leave or take him out. So
yeah, now or never for sure.
Yeah, so I want to agree with you on that part, but when I did some research on too, this show is an ONA. And pretty much that means original net anime. So pretty much the budget what we thought it was even smaller because it's not intended to ever most likely ever go on TV at all. It's only for online. So the budget's even smaller than we probably even thought. So I'm guessing
probably
that whatever they had to rush through and not show, I mean, it was probably way less than we even thought they could show. So these 4 for me, I actually give a 6,700 because I really enjoyed them. I mean, the reason why I can't, I mean, I know Ice is putting his head back, but he's not. He doesn't matter because he's saying when you're saying these are some of the better 4 of the episode, but then you give us a lower score than some scores that you gave higher than.
When did I say this was the better episode? You said that the past 2 episodes, in neither episode I said this was the better one.
You did
I
say
said
that,
this
but
could have been the best 4, and I still wouldn't have cared. I never said that it was.
No. I didn't say no. You said these could have been the best 4 ever,
and I still wouldn't have cared.
So it's not the same thing.
So I never
you said
said
you enjoy these 4, but you gave these 4 some of the lowest scores that you ever given in the whole show.
Said I
so it doesn't make any sense.
Wait, we got to play the tape back because 2 weeks in a row you said I've said that and I didn't say it. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, hold on, both of you guys stop. Rob has the steel trap memory. What happened, Rob?
I mean, I think Keenan's right. I don't remember exactly what I said or even what any of us said, but we have definitely said a few times like, oh, this was better than other stuff. But I think the issue does come down to the fact that, we had already just like at that point been like, we don't really care about this.
Yeah, it's already written off, which is fine. So for me, I gave like this 6,700, these stretch right here. I give it an overall 5,600 overall. I don't know. You guys can say what you recommend. I'm guessing none of y'all would recommend it to anybody.
I mean,
I can't imagine a time I'd recommend this to anyone for any reason.
The only way I would recommend this anime to somebody, because I wouldn't necessarily just recommend this. If they was like, want to watch an anime, I'd be like, Blades of Immortal. I'd be like, bro, nah. Are you ready for
to go to sleep?
Some of the worst, like just scenes that you're going to see in the sense of like torture and rape. If you're built for that, sure. But if you're not,
go watch Goblin Slayer if you want to get some sick shit. In a short period of time.
That was funny. You gotta give him that was funny.
Save you 12 episodes.
Goblin Slayer was terrible but the only episode that was memorable was because of Goblin Rape.
I would rather watch Goblin Slayer season 2 than Blades of Immortal season 2.
It's 12 episodes. I would too. It's 12 episodes.
Just say I Goblin Slayer. I think this is a Goblin Slayer.
I can't say I would watch.
Goblin Slayer is a better show than this show.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was.
Not to me. Not at all.
That's close. That's
It's
close.
pretty close.
Nah.
It's pretty close, but I take Goblin Slayer.
We're saying we putting this in the same conversation as Gangsta. Come on now. Come on.
That's fine.
This was definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it just was. If anything, like I think one of the reasons I gave it a score so low is because there were those high moments, and I'm like, oh shit, like this could get to that level, and it just never got there, and it was it was just middle of the road, like so. That's why I give it a 4,000 because that's like a 5. Like I can't give it a passing grade, but it's just
Goblin Slayer made me laugh.
Yeah.
Like when he was getting his ass whooped,
smoked out. That shit was hilarious.
He's like, I'm about to mess y'all up, and he's like, bam, he's against the wall, laying on the ground.
Potions.
Potions.
Yeah.
Potion. I was
And
like, all right, that's funny.
And I get that but to me there was moments in here where I was like with Manji too. I felt that way at moments where just like this dude is he's clearly out of his fucking league. But he's just kind of like, let's keep it going here. So I mean, 5,700 is what, barely passing a low D or
it's like a 65. What I mean,
That's a solid D. That's a D.
It's a solid D.
D's get degrees.
Oh yeah, it's an L. It's an L. And that's the thing. It's like I know somebody tried to say I'm caping for my anime. I gave it a loss. I literally gave it, but I enjoyed parts of this anime. Whereas I felt like
you giving this
Brendan specifically, I felt like didn't enjoy. It seemed like he didn't enjoy any part.
No, I said that. I did. I said that in my.
And this particular last setting, but I felt like through the first 20, I guess, you were just kind of like, this is one of the worst. This is like the worst show you've ever seen.
No, I mean, I don't remember. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like Gangsta is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I've seen other anime.
What's worse than Gangster though? I mean, not worse, but what's after Gangster? Like, what's better? But
I mean, it depends what you're watching. Like, if you're,
I feel like this is a second for me. for me.
Well, I would say honestly, like you claim you've seen enough anime. I don't think you have at that point, and enough genres of anime. Because I think if you've seen enough genres of anime, like you already said, you can't rock with sports animes. If you watch more sports, I watched some of that volleyball anime on Netflix. That shit is bad.
I think
Kuroko no Basket.
But
was funny.
I'd rather watch Kuroko
but it was
than this.
bad.
I think it's kind of like it's kind of like what Brennan said. It's like when you watch so much anime and some stuff is so trash that it's just like I don't watch it. Like I'm only talking about stuff that I've completed. I'm talking about stuff that I've completed. And out of all the animes that I've watched from start to finish, this is the second worst one that I've ever watched. Sometimes you just stop watching stuff. You just stop watching.
You actually raise a really good point because I have a question that's going in my head right now. Is like, would I rather watch the same amount of episodes of this or Kuroko no Basketball? And I'm over here just like,
I would watch. I watch Kuroko.
I can't do Kuroko again. I can't because there was nothing in Kuroko that made me want to watch anything.
And that's actually where I was falling. Is that like, I think I actually would rather watch this than Kuroko because Kuroko was the same thing again over and over again.
I would rather watch Kuroko just for the simple fact of if it's my second time viewing it, it's what I'm watching it with our commentary. Like I'm watching it like him like thinking about 3-pointer. Like I'm thinking of like silly jokes that like we've made that I would rather watch it. We didn't really make like impactful.
I'm gonna say that this is actually I say Kuroko is like a hair below this.
Like
for my ratings.
Better or
it's worse. A little bit worse.
This is worse. No way.
Kuroko was the same episode for 24 episodes, whereas at least this, there was moments where you're like, oh, okay,
and
you got some like...
And Kuroko was racist too, because like the one black guy, and it was just like... You remember that dude that came like, oh!
Yeah,
that guy from Senegal.
He was talking, No,
he got smacked up on the court.
But you knew what you were getting from Kuroko, and it was that for that entire thing. Like we wasn't.
But that's the thing is like it was the same episode 24 times. I think that one episode is better than almost all the episodes of this. But at least every time I had to sit down and watch this, I'm like, okay, I think that hurts more
because that was one of our biggest gripes with Gangster. Because if that's the case, then Kuroko is worse than Gangster. If you want to, if we're going off of that logic,
I wouldn't knock somebody for saying that.
Because it's like there were so many times that
I don't knock somebody for saying that.
There were so many times where we was like, okay, like these next set of episodes for Gangster about to be crazy, and it wasn't. And that's the same thing we were saying for Blaze of the Immortal.
But here's the thing: I'm not knocking somebody for saying that though.
No way.
I would say that episode where Rin got through like the guardhouse is easily better than anything on either Gangsta or Kuroko no Basket. Easy.
I fully agree with that.
Yeah,
fully agree with that.
That's one episode though.
No, that's true.
It's one episode, but there's no episodes. There's no episode or even series of episodes between those two shows.
It was. I forgot what episode was it, but we wasn't hyped for it. But we garnered up enough hype for one of those episodes. I think when they met that defensive team with the bald-headed dude that was talking shit, we was kind of. He was kind of, you know.
That was us making it fun.
I know. I didn't say. I know. I'm saying that we had to, but
that episode with Ren was actually a really good episode. She was Meryl Streep in that bitch. Yeah. Anyways, so we're done with Blades of Immortal. We got some news for y'all. We're gonna actually be watching We're gonna be watching a movie next called Castle in the Sky.
What? Studio Ghibli. I thought we was doing I thought we were doing House. Yeah, we're doing House in
the Fortress one, right?
No, House.
House Moving Castle.
House Moving Castle.
Oh, yes. Oh, I wrote down Castle. Oh, my bad. So House Moving
You
House
said
moving
that with
Castle.
so much confidence.
Yeah.
I did. I wrote down Castle. Both said that.
Taking it back.
Yeah, rewind. Also, to I guess I just say we're gonna are we starting with this movie with the new format? Mm-hmm. So with this movie, guys, we're gonna be starting a brand new format. You guys will see what it is when we do it. Please follow along. It's not gonna be the format like this at all. It's not gonna be us just kind of talking. We're gonna have some points. Some kind of like PTI type stuff or some around the horn type style type things. So you get to see it be more fun, more interactive, I guess. So hope y'all tune into that. I know y'all will tune into that. Brennan, go ahead, drop your stuff.
And then this.
So first of all, before I drop my things, let's go ahead and drop some other things real quick. So his name is Chaz Rogers. That's with a D. RODGERS. His Instagram is I am Chaz Rogers. Yes, it is. I am at Chaz Rogers. His Facebook
Find him
is
on Facebook, yeah.
Chazman Rogers is actually his name on Facebook. So please reach out to him. He's the one who made us go through these last 5 episodes. And if you've been here with us through it, I give you nothing but commendation. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. I'm sorry you had to do that. But Chaz Rogers, I am Chaz Rogers on Instagram. Let him know what you think of this shitty ass show.
Damn.
And he ain't shit. Chaz, if you're listening, you ain't shit. And I can be found on Mr. Producer Face on the gram.
I actually, you were gonna say something before that.
Oh no, I was just saying that I have the pick after the movie. So if y'all got any suggestions, I got 2 in the canon that I think I'm gonna pick. But if y'all got anything, let me know. Yeah. But I guess I can go. Yeah, Iced Out McGowan on everything.
Rob.
Cool. RV Danger on Instagram.
Keenan Baker on everything, man. And as always, I love y'all out there tuning in every week. We appreciate y'all. I'm super excited about this new style. Actually, Rob put the work in with this, and so we're gonna have a lot of fun with this new style. And I think y'all gonna love it, man. I'm Keenan Baker at every single thing. Let us know what y'all scores was. Let us know if y'all thought Blade Immortal is near the level of Gangsta or not.
This whole series, you have not got the title right once, and this was your pick.
What, Blaze of the Immortal?
Yeah. This is your first time saying it correctly. You've said everything but Blaze of the Immortal.
What have I said?
You said the Immortal Blades.
He has said that. Okay.
I probably have, but I've gotten it right multiple times. I just listened back today to find my scores. So
the Immortal Blades.
Man, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, man. I'll take my L like a G. Unlike y'all acting like y'all want to be like, I took mine like a gangster. I ain't fighting for it. I even gave it an L my goddamn self.
What did Brendan tell you about saying gangster?
Oh. I'm with it. I don't even know what to say.
Oh, man.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Animeshun. We out. Peace.
And so anime was solved forever.